Hey everyone, it's Jason. I want to try a little bit something different in this type of video. So I'm going to start I back all these Kickstarter games. So I thought I'd show off some of them during the campaign. Kind of go maybe midway, not, maybe eventually I can do several of them if they seem to be popular. But yeah, just show off some of the games I'm backing. Maybe get some hype for it for people that may not have seen or heard that they were out. Because maybe you don't frequent or you just didn't see it on Facebook or their website or get an email or whatever. So I'm going to go through 3 games today in this video. We're going to go through Zombicide, White Death, which is the fantasy, it's the sequel to Black Plague and Green Horde. We're going to go through the game Flutter, which is by Phase Shift Games. You also did Dungeon Drop. So you may have seen my videos on though. It's an interesting tile-based pollinating game. And then the last one we're going to go look at, well, actually the first one we're going to look at is Let's Go to Japan. This one is already actually finished. The Kickstarter has closed, but the late pledges are still open. So if you are interested in this, you can always go check it out. I will put the links to each of their Kickstarter pages in the comment section, or in the description rather, not the comments. You can check out. So I'm going to just do a brief run through. Now, I apologize, the video is kind of grainy. I just took pictures from the website. I'm just trying to do this as a quick thing. So Let's Go to Japan is an interesting game about doing just that. You are traveling through Japan. This image is showing kind of a gaming setup. It is using some of the upgraded component pieces there's usually, like most Kickstarters, there's a base pledge and a Kickstarter pledge. Kickstarter has a little bit better quality materials. Again, check out the page yourself if you want to see some of it. But what you're doing in here is you're earning points by making the most out of your favorite activities and fulfilling your goals. So there's 3 basic different types of location cards. There's Kyoto, which is pink, Tokyo, which is blue, or yellow cards, which can be either, something you do. And you're planning an itinerary for your entire week. You're going to Japan. What are we going to do in Japan? And you're trying to figure out the best things to do to gain money, spend the least amount of money, gain stress. And that's some of the different symbols up here. You have a little cat there kind of representing your money. And then you have like stress reducer, and then down here you get bonuses for doing different stuff. So you're going to get all these different cards. Currently, because of the Kickstarter, there's up to 160 cards in there. They're all tarot-sized cards, so they're like thin and long. But they're kind of nice, so you get a lot of information on there. But you can see other different stuff you're going to do. So like this one, you're going for a walk, so you're going to gain some energy. Positive for using energy, and then you're going to gain some money. But some of these are really simple ones. You have other ones like visiting the Tokyo Tower or Kyoto Tower, the Joji Temple, and I'm hopefully not going to butcher all these, see a concert, and they have different rewards for doing stuff, and for different times of the week. Some of these, like down at the bottom here, to get like this reward, you've had to do 3 of the, I don't remember what they're exact called, but they're the conversation tabs, or activities. But you only get if you've done them. So if you played this on your first turn, you wouldn't get that bonus. But if you played this later on, you've done 3 of those activities, you gain the bonus. So the order you play all these makes a difference. So like here's a picture of some of the boards for the game. So you have Monday through Saturday down here. And you keep track of your different stress meter up at the top on these. And then, like, this will tell you different stuff you get to do on your turn. Things you can do. Play a card, do this, do that. Tapped off my picture there. But yeah, you play the cards down below. So you have some kind of images. Now, hopefully these work. These are little videos on the actual page. But it's just showing you playing different cards. You draft cards. Let's see if I can back this up a little bit. There we go. You draft cards it'll tell you on the playboard, the turn order, how many you draft and stuff like this. You place them in your itinerary. You can place it on the top, the middle, or the bottom of a stack. So you're setting this all up ahead of time, kind of like an automated machine. And then at the end of the game, then you're going to actually score all these. So you can only have 3 things on each one. So like once one column gets full, you can't put any more on there. So you gotta kind of plan around that. And there's other different stuff like for scoring and points. Like you have to spend train tokens to go between Kyoto and Tokyo. So when you go to the same area, the same thing, it's a little bit easier on your character because you're in the same village. But if you keep constantly going back and forth between different ones, you might gain better rewards. You might not. So you can discard card to go for a walk and explore the city at the end of the game, get some different things, matching icons to each day for favorable conditions. So they'll have different symbols. So, but again, you're doing a draft mechanic as well. Like you get to draw like 2 or 3 cards, and then you get to pick one, and then they go into a pile for the next player. And actually, a neat mechanic of this is, after a couple rounds, instead of just next person getting your hand, you then pick up the pile the next character got, so you get to go through multiple cards that they did, not just the 2 they left over. It's not like a typical draft where, oh, I have 3 cards and I draw one, then the next player gets 2 cards, you have to choose from, and the last player is forced to get one. You actually always go through several different cards. So pass the cards you didn't pick to the next player, move the round tracker, tell you how many cards you draft for the next round. Activities can bring you both happiness and stress. Overall mood will affect your score. Any travel between cities, add train tickets. I kind of mentioned these. And finally, on your trip to Japan, activities scored starting with Monday. So you start scoring your points, and then depending on what you did, you'll keep track on your board here. So it's a really fun, interesting type of game for that mechanic, like just the mechanic of it. Plus, it has information about Japan. If you like Japan, you're interested, it has some little knowledge in it. So here's the 2 different versions of the game. There's the $39 standard edition. Plus, you get, if you back this during the Kickstarter, you go and late pledge it, you'll get all the stretch goals, which basically just added a bunch of extra cards and added some extra stuff in there. Or you can get the $69, the Matsuri edition, which has all the upgraded tokens. Plus, you get a set of ceramic bowls. So it's kind of neat. So it's depending on which one you have. The overall gameplay will be the same for either one, just whether you want for different things. Here's some add-ons you can get as well. They have the neoprene playmat, which is just nice playmat versus probably like cardboard ones that fold out. So it's an option if you'd like to get that. There are 5 of them because there's a 5th player mode was added for the Kickstarter box. And then they have the day trip expansion, which adds Sunday. And lets you go to some other places other than Tokyo or Kyoto. This is kind of neat. It also adds an extra day to give you just extra things to do. And then there's also a new passport mode you can get as well. So you can get that, just add some like different like early special abilities. So that is what we had for Go to Japan. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, again, check out the link, go check it out. They do have a downloadable rule books if you want to read through the rules a little bit more. But yeah, definitely a fun idea if it's something you're interested in. Next game we want to look at is Flutter. This is, again, a tile-based flower pollinating game. So here's a layout of how the game kind of is. Let me back up just a little there. So you're going to take tiles from these piles here with different pollinating, I don't want to just say insects because it's not entirely fruit, because there's butterflies, there's ladybugs, there's dragonflies, there's hummingbirds. So different creatures, there's different animals that are pollinating. Then what you do is you're going to place your tiles down, and then let's see if I have a little bit better image here. Yeah, so like on the corners here, there's different flowers that'll match up. And then based on how they land and they match up, either you're going to pay a cost to play that because you didn't have things that matched up, and then you gain bonus points for ones that do match up. So yeah, and you can flip them over and rotate them and do all this other different stuff in there. So I do kind of have that broke down. So it's going to show there'll be a sun on the pile so that's the one you can't grab from. So you have to grab from the next one, and then that keeps moving. So you don't just get a grab from any different pile, but but it kind of makes the game interesting. And then they have water tokens to kind of fill in gaps. So that's showing down here. Down the bottom here, you link these up. I know it's kind of hard to see on my picture here. Let me see if I can zoom in at all. Move my camera back. So, like here, you place them down. Like if they matched, the colors in the corners, you gain extra pollen for those ones. And if they don't match, then you have to pay for them. So it's kind of an interesting strategy tile laying game. And then you get to move your little bee around to go ahead and pollinate. Certain ones that are complete, you gain extra points. But yeah, again, there's also rule books for this as well. Now, they did change one thing you'll notice in this. Oops, sorry. If I back out so you can actually see what I'm pointing at. They have little flower petals and stuff. And then they did show it kind of in the bottom down here on these. They got rid of those, and now they've upgraded to boards. So there's these boards for your pollinating. So you'll have a little, like, one of those tokens, and then if you gain 3 red ones, you'll move up 3. If you had to pay 4 purple, you'll move back 4. And then the other little circles are for pollinating. You get points when you hit certain markers. So they changed that instead of having a bunch of little tokens you have to keep kind of track of. Now it just does it on a tracking board, which is a lot cooler. Another really neat thing about this is for every copy sold, Facius Games is donating $1 to Save Our Monarchs. So if that's something, it's a little bit of charity as well. It's kind of cool. I don't think I actually put the price of the game in here. I think it was $29 or $39. I think it's $29 or $39 for the base set. So it's not terribly expensive either. They're all wooden tiles as well, so they're solid. There's an upgraded version which gets you a little extra stuff in there as well. So go check it out. It's definitely a neat idea. There are 17 more days to go as of this video. So you got plenty of time to still think it through, and there's always usually a late pledge option as well. But yeah, definitely something neat to look at. Alright, then the big one lots of people might be looking for is Zombicide White Death. This, again, is part of the fantasy series, which is Black Plague and Green Horde. Seems like your medieval settings. This takes place, and those ones took place kind of like, I guess you'd say like, European-ish type countries, like your more typical standard fantasy medieval you're thinking of. You have elves, you have dwarves. This one now moves over to the west, and we're hitting our Asian area. So the setting takes place in Wintergrad, which is kind of like a gateway between all the different cultures. And it happens to be a really snowy city, which adds for some cool, interesting effects. But then lots of the survivors and the miniatures in here are based off of Asian culture, Japanese, Chinese, probably some bunch of other ones that I don't know for sure of. Definitely cool. So it adds some neat mechanics to the game as well. So this is like one of the main sets of tiles. There's a wall. There's a wall in here. The zombies can't necessarily go through, so you just shoot over the wall or attack around it. Again, these tiles are all movable, so you can move them around. There'll be different scenarios based on how you're playing. There's also this green, which is the evil necromancers who are creating corruption, trying to spread it across the board. If they get it to this special point, wherever it is on the board, it can change from board to board. Then they actually win the game. So it's kind of a neat idea there. Enemies can't breach the wall unless they corrupt it and destroy it. So here's some of the survivor characters from the base set box. As we have, a couple of different archer characters. We have a fox and a tiger, which are something the other fantasy Zombicide games didn't have animal creatures. They were all elves, dwarves, giants, ogres, things like that. This adds some more fantasy some more animal type characters in there, as well as lots of samurai or Ronin type characters as well. But then there's also some characters that are kind of more armored up. They're going up against zombies that are kind of Mongolian-ish. So they kind of have that theme going. They're ones kind of what would be sort of living on this wall versus the people coming to help. And like down even here, there's the big Khan abomination, and go up because. So one cool thing about this, another thing is that special limited edition set of survivors that are playable characters is the Italian band Lacuna Coil. So if you're not familiar with them, they're a really cool rock metal band. So they're getting their own sets of miniatures, which is very different, something that Zombicide games haven't done in the past. You have a lot of homages to characters. They've had people like Prince or Beyonce or some other different artists, or lots of actors and TV show characters. But usually they don't like literally list their names. They're called something else, maybe something close to their name or a reference to them. This is the first time I've seen it where they literally just like, no, this is the characters. This is the actual people. So that's really cool. They haven't shown off their minis yet, so I haven't seen what they actually look like. Here are some of the exclusive characters. With all lots of the game, you get a lot of extra miniatures and characters. I'm not going to show off every one. You can go check out the campaign itself. But here are some of the daily characters. We got some new walkers. Rakasha. I'm going to butcher all these names. We got a wolf lady. We got another runner down there. Some different zombies. We got a monkey man, Kote. We got a Kappa villain. Midoriko down here at the bottom, a little more chibi Asian girl, which is kind of fun. Here's some of those are the daily unlocks. It's day 10, or it's been day 10 of, so they've unlocked 10 of them so far. We have 10 more days to go, so plenty more dailies. Then there's the ones you get for the money. We have some other different characters here, like Hongai, Melee, who's a monkey warrior, and Lapu Lapu. Some of these are more well-known Asian-inspired characters, like the Marcus of Mao. We have Raja Kola, or Amaratsu, as an abomination you can fight. The Tango, who you can fight as a necromancer. Shaoren, I love his giant shield. Tashinyi, some different characters there as well. Then there's some expansions you can pick up if you like. The first big one is the Internal Empires. So there's a $45 price value. Although usually at these games they do an all-in at the end, which drops the prices a little bit. But you're going to get a couple new survivors, some new abominations, some things like that. Here's like a gameplay, some characters out of the game. I'm not going into super detail on all of these. But one thing that's cool about this is you're adding a campaign, which up till now has not been available in any of the fantasy Zombicides. They started in Modern Zombicide 2.0, they started adding campaigns. They also did the Western Undead or Alive. So now you're going to get one for the fantasy, which adds special cards on the table, which work as objectives. So when you draw one of these cards, like a disturbing noise, you can flip it over. It'll tell you a little story. It'll give you like options what to do. Sometimes it's, oh, do I search this thing? Nope. Or do I check it? And you go check it. Oh crap, it was a zombie. Or nope, it was weapons underneath. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It adds a little extra flair to the game, I would say. Because then you get something other than just picking up a token. Oh, I picked up this. I gotta collect five tokens. Okay, I run over, I collect them, move on. Now you actually have some options. Sometimes you might avoid it. Sometimes you might be like, hey, that could be a zombie. I'm going to leave that. I will come back later maybe when I have more weapons. Or, I have someone else to help me. So it's kind of a neat idea. There's also other mechanics. I didn't go through all of them in here. But it kind of mentions in here there's chi tokens. There's a campaign board. Lots of new weapons. Things like that. Yeah, you can definitely check out some other expansions are the Crossfire Pack, which is gonna add ranged archers, guards you can have. So you have regular guards, and you can have some that can do ranged attacks. Plus, you're gonna get ranged enemies, which are always fun. You're also gonna get berserker walkers. You can get Let's just add bigger, bulkier walkers that can move a lot quicker. Definitely cool. Another bigger expansion is the Warlords of the Rising Sun. This added a bunch of survivors to the game. And these are all based off a lot more famous or historical characters, such as Obadiah Nobunaga, Odaba. Alright, I'm done trying to pronounce this name. But then there's also like Hattori Hanzo, and my screen apparently went really glitchy on that. But famous ninja. So that's definitely cool. Then they also have another one for the Warlords of the Middle Kingdom, which adds some other ones like Necromancer. You can fight as Zhang Zhao. And my screen went terrible on that one. Let's see if I can capture it in Chow Chow. Sorry, a little wonky there. So definitely some interesting ones there. Then the big new expansion that just dropped a day or two ago is Zombicide Time Crash with the TMNT. It just brings Samurai Ninja Turtles into the game. So you have the 4 Turtles, Splinter, April, Casey Jones, but you have Shredder and some Foot Soldiers. So this is going to add some more tiles to the game, some New York themed tiles, which are kind of interesting. They're going to mingle in there. Again, these are all optional, so you do not have to buy these. You can, hey, I'm not a fan of the Ninja Turtles. You can pick up all the rest of them. I don't need extra walkers or extra archers or whatever. Don't have to pick them up. I don't need the, like, if I bought, if you thought, hey, I bought the core game, I got all these extra stretch goals, I don't need these extra 2 boxes of characters. You don't have to pick them up. That's just fun about this. You can just pick this up. What if you've never played Zombicide before? You can pick this up as a starter set. Not the turtle one, White Death. The overall game you can pick up as a starter set. Let's say 10 days to go. Yeah, it's everything to play right off the box. If you own or want to pick up one of the other fantasy ones, Green Horde or Black Plague or any of their expansions, you can add all that content into this game as well, or vice versa. You can take the characters from this game and put them into that game. They all match up pretty well. I always say pretty well because some of these characters have special new abilities that, might not, like, if they interact with the guards, for example, the guards aren't in the older scenarios or the older missions, so there's not gonna, so you could add them in there, and then they could be useful, but then they'll have abilities that work with them that the other characters don't, but any character can always use the guards, so they are 100% adaptable. They just have little specificities. Kind of like the Ninja Turtles have special abilities that only the Ninja Turtles have. So definitely you guys can check this out. Again, I'll have all the 3 links in the bottom. If you guys enjoyed this type of video, me showing off some Kickstarter stuff, let me know and I'll continue to do it as I back stuff. If or anything